Hey YouTube, it's me, Marquelworld, all things pro wrestling news in my life. Let's talk about it. Friday night, Smackdown. They are trying to push it to 2 hours. Is this something that we would want to see? YouTube, is this something that we want to see? Do we want to see Smackdown become a 2 hour show? A lot of people do look forward to Friday Night SmackDown because they don't have to go to work the next day. We do know that Monday Night Raw, Monday, a lot of people, that is the first day of the working week. So they can't really stay up and enjoy Monday Night Raw. Unlike a SmackDown where you usually have the weekend, or if you do work weekends, you don't have to go in until late. So you do have a lot of people that are more flexible with SmackDown. But WWE, it's being reported they are in agreement with some people that say SmackDown is too long. Some people are saying that SmackDown is too long, YouTube. So they are trying to cut it down to 2 hours after WrestleMania. They say they want to do this around July, June-ish. They want to narrow it down to 2 hours. We have to keep in mind Raw was once 3 hours long, and now on Netflix they are doing 2.5, usually the most, maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes. But they don't usually do no 3 hour shows. We don't really see that on Netflix. Maybe with the premium, with the premiere and the week after to get momentum, they were doing longer shows, but currently, no, they're doing maybe 2.5 hours the most. So again, it will be up to par with Raw. Again, some people may like SmackDown because they don't have no weekend plans, which isn't a bad thing. Some people, that kickstarts their weekend, so 3 hours long, they are willing to watch that because that is the kickstart of their weekend. Some people, again, may not have weekend plans, so that is what they like to watch. And 3 hours long, that is enough for them. With 2 hours, that could be short. You may not be able to get everyone on the roster on a 2 hour show, but 2.5 hours would be a nice medium. 2.5 hours, YouTube. And by the way, if you have not, please sub. I post pro wrestling news at least 3 times a week. But YouTube, 3.5 hours. What do you think about that? Well, 2.5 hours. Do you feel like that would be the perfect medium? Not too long, not too short. Are you in agreement with the 2 hour show? Again, I feel like with the 2 hour show, we may not be able to get everyone. I'm even willing to do 2 hours and 15 minutes. Let's add just a 15 minutes, or 2 hour and 20 minutes. Again, it doesn't have to go over 2.5 hours, but it can be 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hour and a half minutes, especially if you have a lot of backstage segments. You won't really have 2 hours worth of wrestling if you have at least 3 or 5 minutes, or maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes worth of backstage stuff. So you have to keep that in mind. It's not always going to be wrestling. It's going to be announcements. It's going to be segments. It's going to be promos. Again, you have to fit all of that within the 2 hours. So it's not just going to be wrestling that is being narrowed down. You have to have the promos. You have to have time for everything. So that's why, again, I'm stating you two that maybe 2 hours may be limited for all that they do on these shows. That's why 2.5, 2 hours and 20, or 2 hours and 15 minutes is a perfect medium to get rid of all the extra stuff that isn't wrestling. Um, with SmackDown, I do like its vibe. I feel like it can do a 3 hour show, but with everything that's on TV, especially for those that are WWE fans, you have Monday Night Raw, NXT, Evolve, Main Event. Then you have the Friday Night SmackDown. Then you have the A&E shows, like LFG, and all the rivalry shows that they have, the documentary. So you have so much content where they're showing new stuff every week. There's always something new. A&E, um, the WWE stuff, the legend things, looking at artifacts. Again, the LFG competition show with Mickey James and Billy Ray. Then you have more stuff about rivalries. They come up with a weekly show where they go after rivalries. So again, if you're a WWE fan, you have so much to watch. So 3 hours can be a lot to someone that's always watching all the material. 3 hours can be a lot if you are watching all of the material, especially if you add AEW and TNA wrestling and hell, even MLW and NWA. That's a lot of wrestling. So a lot of people will be relieved if they do knock it down to just 2 hours. A lot of people will be disappointed again if this is something they were looking forward to, YouTube. But I feel like 2.5 hours should be enough. A lot of people backstage are saying it may not be worth the hassle, especially after a while, viewership can get lower. Towards the end, once people get tired because they've been watching for a while, it's Friday nights. Some people just want to get to the club, but you know, YouTube, some people just want to get to the club. They don't want to be watching all night long Friday night SmackDown. So, again, it may be long to many, YouTube. It may be too short to many. We're not going to make everyone happy. We're not going to make everyone happy, but that is the news. People within WWE are looking at it and stating that it's not even worth the 3 hours time slot with all of the viewerships going away. Who knows? Who knows? June or July is not a definite date. It's around that time. So who knows? Maybe next year they're able to come up fully with that transition. I know a lot of people have to remember that, of course. It's going to 3 hours to two. I mean, it just took me a while watching the show. I'm like, why is it still going on? It's 10 o'clock. Oh, okay, we're doing the 3 hour show. So you have to adjust to it being a 3 hour show. So now we have to adjust to it now being a 2 hour show, allegedly, if this does happen. So a lot of changes, YouTube, but what do you think? What do you think? Do you want to see it be a 3 hour or a 2 hour show or two and a half, the medium? But life update, it's Monday. I'm recording. It's the end of the night, Tuesday tomorrow, work week. I hope your work week's going well. But I'm here, YouTube. Thanks for the support. Those that do support. But this is Marquel's World. All things pro wrestling news, my life. I post pro wrestling news at least 3 times a week. I'll see you guys on the next video, YouTube. Thanks for the support.